Inside PressBox is presented by Freedmont Mortgage. Don't make a 30-year mistake by choosing the wrong lender. Go to Freedmont.com now for all of your mortgage needs. And welcome to another edition of Inside PressBox. I'm your host, Stan the Fan Charles. The Council of Baltimore Ravens Roost held their annual convention in Ocean City this past weekend. Ravens Roost 15 president, the host of the Purple Pride Report on 1370 AM, Bill West, and our own Joe Blatania will be on board this week to recap the 48th annual Summer Football Fest. We'll also catch up with a person who's been ultra busy training winners both at the high school and the collegiate level. Greg Menegas has been the right person at the right time for both the Calvert Hall Cardinals and the Loyola Greyhounds men's lacrosse teams. And speaking of Loyola, joining me now is the man who's been put in charge of putting all the pieces together that have made 2012 such a huge success, Jim Paquette. Jim, gotta hand it to you. You're a champ, man.
Thanks, Dan. Glad to be here. It's been a great 100 days.
It has been, starting with Jimmy Patsos taking the Greyhound basketball team into the round of 64. But one of the things we talked about off the air has been seeing this melding of all the athletic department, how each coach is pulling the oars in the right directions.
It's really amazing. We like to say that winning begets winning. And I think it certainly started with Coach Patsos and the men's basketball team going to the NCAA tournament for the first time since 1994 and built right into the lacrosse season with Jen Adams, a women's lacrosse team, winning back-to-back Big East championships. And then men's lacrosse, of course, going 18-1 and winning the national championship. And I've got to shout out to the men's golf team who went to the NCAA tournament for the 5th time in a row. They get lost once in a while, but they've had a great year too.
But you were telling me, Mark Metrick, the soccer coach, Jen and her team came up to Foxborough to support. Yeah. And Jimmy Patsos was there.
It's amazing.
That's kind of special.
It's amazing how supportive these coaches are of each other. You'll see, Coach Patsos was there in Foxborough. Coach Joe Logan, a women's basketball coach, was in Pittsburgh for the NCAA game. Jed Adams was at both. Brian Leffler, our swim coach, was at both. I mean, it's really, Loyola Athletics is like a family, and we really support each other.
So now let me ask you a question. All those guys you mentioned, and gals, were hired by a guy named Joe Boylan. So should he get most of the credit for this?
Joe made some great hires. You give him credit. He made some terrific hires, and Joe's still around, and he's our AD Emeritus.
I don't think there was anybody more excited by this run than Joe.
No. I mean, and we've made sure Joe's been with us every step of the way, and when we get those national championship rings, I guarantee you Joe Boylan's getting one of them.
All right. That sounds great. Now, when a war ends, they say, well, you get the dividends of the war, the war dividends. What are the dividends for Loyola? Because people say, boy, this is great for the university.
Well, I think big picture, Stan, it gave our university a national platform. All of a sudden, now Loyola is playing on a national stage or on ESPN. People are becoming aware of this very good Jesuit Catholic school in Baltimore. And so, as an institution, we want to capitalize that. That'll hopefully increase exposure, student applications, big picture. In terms of the athletic department, it's going to help with recruiting. We've already seen the impact with fundraising, ticket sales, corporate sponsorship. And so I think this really, we really will be in a better position to judge it probably 18 months out, but it has the potential to be transformational for our school.
It's got to help morale on the campus to begin with.
It's been amazing.
And I'm thinking that it also is going to not just help the school get better athletes, it's going to help the awareness of kids that aren't athletes that just say, hey, what's this school Loyola? I'd never heard of them before.
Stan, we like to talk about athletics being the front porch to the university. And so what we've done is, we want to attract people to find out that, hey, we've got a great school of business, we're at a great school of education. And we think that, a winning athletic program can do that.
Tell me about Coach Toomey. One of the things when a guy at this level wins at a school this size, there are bigger places out there that are going to say, hey, we want to build a lacrosse program, or we're getting rid of our guy. Is he going to become an ultra attractive commodity, and is he Loyola through and through?
I tell you what, Charlie Toomey lives, breathes, and bleeds Loyola, and we're committed to him. And he's committed to us.
So if you cut him open a little bit, he's going to bleed green.
Absolutely. The highest compliment I can give Charlie Toomey is I've got 2 boys that just started playing lacrosse, and it would be an honor if they could play for him one day. He's that good of a coach.
All right. Now, you don't come from a lacrosse background. As a matter of fact, you're a New Englander. You and I were talking before the show that this is equivalent a little bit to like a school in New England winning the hockey championship.
Yeah, ice hockey would be the sport that would probably be comparable in New England, although that's changing.
Yeah.
I mean, as you saw with the NCAA lacrosse championships right there in Boston, it's become a hot sport everywhere. But, you know, Baltimore, I think in Baltimore, lacrosse transcends sports. You know, it's more of a lifestyle for it. And so this winning the lacrosse national championship, I think the impact for our school is just, it's a potential to be transformational.
Tell me what this is going to do to the lacrosse community in terms of, in other words, Loyola, prior to Loyola winning the national championship, Hopkins was the smallest institution. They have this lacrosse legacy almost, but UMBC, Towson, maybe the schools up in Pennsylvania like Drexel and Hobart. Does this give them hope? Are they going to put more energy into this? What do you think?
I mean, absolutely. We're one of only 9 schools that have now ever win, you know, in almost 40 years to win the Division I lacrosse championship. So I think there are a lot of people out there who were rooting for Loyola, not because they're rooting against Maryland. I think Maryland has lots of fans, but because they were rooting for the little guy.
Yeah.
You know, they were rooting for the school that, you know, isn't the brand name, isn't the known commodity, you know, isn't the BCS power conference type school with, you know, almost unlimited resources. So I think this could be a game changer. You know, this could mean that some schools now that are starting lacrosse, like a Marquette University, you know, maybe we can win it too. Yeah. You know, we've got a chance. You get the right kids. Now we happen to be, you know, right in what I like to call the lacrosse center of the universe in Baltimore, and so we have an advantage, I think, recruiting-wise.
All right. Jimmy, great to see good people do good things and great things, and you and Charlie Toomey are the best.
Thanks. Appreciate it, Stan.
All right. Don't tell Mike Waddell I said. Hey, don't go away. Later in the show, we'll find out how champions train from Greg Menegas. Plus, Bill West and Joe Platania will be with me after the break, so don't touch that dial. Go to PressBoxOnline.com and register a youth team in your community for a chance to be highlighted as the PressBox Youth Team of the Month. Sponsored by Sports Authority. Go to PressBoxOnline.com for all the details.